Hey YouTube, it's been a long time, been a while yet. um, I was giving some thought to some things. One of the things, country living versus city living and the quest for peace. Have you ever noticed how when you're in the city there is no really peaceful place? You have to make an effort. You have to make an effort to be at peace with anything. You gotta buy the yoga records and you gotta find quiet places. And having lived out in the country now for about a year or more, a little over maybe, and on and off in the past, you don't have to search for peace in the country. The country in itself, for instance this place, it is a place at peace with itself. You walk outside the door and it's peaceful. There's a few people here and there, but by and large, anywhere you go, you find a land that is at peace, and it's in a kind of a balance. And it also shows us something very interesting, the arrogance of humankind. Man thinks he's this huge influencer on the earth. But all you have to do is go out to the country to understand that the efforts of man are minimal. Minimal compared to the power of nature. This property that we lived on has probably been untended for maybe 20 years. And when we bought it, you could barely find any of the structures beyond the house. We literally had to cut all this stuff back out of the forest. Mother Nature out here comes back with a vengeance the minute you stop maintaining things. So this whole thing about man being the superior force on earth is quite frankly, in my opinion, BS. Now at some point, when this place gets built up, the city, which is small here, it's just a small town, but eventually it will grow. Population grows, so do towns that are around where the population is. Right now, we're still where nature is tipping the balance in her favor. The town is small, and this is a good way to exist. You should have to put a little bit of effort. It informs you very quickly as to your relation to the rest of the world, But thinking on it, man is a very arrogant being to think that he is the strongest force on earth and that he's affecting the earth all that much. The greenhouse gases thing, yeah, maybe, but who knows? It's like what they say, and I know it's cliche, one volcano erupts and all that greenhouse gas BS goes into the wind. The volcano supersedes it many times. I think nature and the world are going to be around long after we have gone the way of the dodo. Man's presence on this world is mere happenstance. And all you gotta do, go spend some time, get you a small cottage, some rundown thing out in the middle of the country, put it together, or build you one out there, and live out there, and see what you think. See if your opinion has shifted or is the same as mine. Because I can guarantee you, after you've fought nature for a while, just to hold your own, you will see what I see, and that is that man is not all that in a bag of chips as he thinks he is as it relates to his domination of nature. And yeah, I do like being out here, even though we do have the flaky neighbors that are kind of troublesome and things like that. I like being out here. It's a peaceful existence. You wake up when you want to. You can do whatever you want to. There's not a lot to do, but you have to make things for yourself to do. Plant gardens, take care of the land, socialize with whatever people are available. Try to keep your social skills sharp. That's the other thing I've noticed is when you live way out in the middle of nowhere and there's very few people that know you, and you know very few people, I would think the most important thing is either keep a blog or make friends as fast as you can, because your social skills will start to go blunt. I'll just put it that way. And I didn't think that was the case But it seems to me that that is happening. You know, you're not as socially sharp after a while. And I don't know why there's that degradation. It's really strange. Anyway, just try it, you know. Move out to the country, or ask a friend if you can live out there for a little while on their place, you know. Something you'll find out real fast where your place in the world is, and where man's place in the world is. And that's all I could think of. Just a little thing to put on my blog. I'll probably be shooting another video soon, but that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I said I was ending the video, but this is just something I wanted to show all of y'all. This is an example of what I was talking about. This barn has been abandoned for about 20 years. Well, not quite that far. Katrina probably was the last time people lived on this land other than us. And you can look at this and you can see how nature has begun reclaiming. The trails and everything are only cut because the electric company needs through here to fix things, and because I had a lawnmower. But all of this, all the way to this barn, was solid forest. I began cutting it down because we need the land cleared. But this thing, if you look at it, I'm sorry if the video is shaking. The sun is so bright I can't see what's on the screen really easily, but anyway, this is what I was speaking of. This is probably since Katrina was the last time this was maintained. And you can see, just looking at it, you know, the condition that it's in. It probably a little longer back than that. I'd say this hasn't been maintained for at least 25 years, maybe. But every scrap of wood and every other thing in here is pretty much a thing of the past. You know, it was a place for goats and cattle. I have to watch what I'm doing because this tin can really cut you open if you catch it on your head or somewhere. If we get out of that blinding sun, and now I can actually see what I'm filming. And we've just been using it. A lot of these straighter saplings, I've been cutting them down and putting them up in here to dry. And they're getting pretty good now. I haven't decided what I'm going to use them for yet. You can't do much permanent with this kind of stuff, but you can make some pretty neat looking things. And even if I cut it into little pieces and use it for firewood, you know, I'm thinking about buying a wood burning stove, because God knows we've got wood all over this place. But this place probably hadn't been maintained for 20-something years, and there's places all around this property like this. And you can see the sheer amount of growth. That's the house way back there. That's the house. The only places you can move on this property are paths that you cut through, or pastures that you cut open. And we're working to remedy that, but that's just an example. You know, man thinks he's all that in a bag of chips. Mother Nature will reclaim something faster than you think. If this had been allowed to sit another 10, 15 years, you wouldn't even be able to see these places. You might find them stumbling around in the woods, but there wouldn't be much left of this. You can see the whole structure is starting to go down over here. So, just man versus nature. Nature wins every time. When man is long gone, this world will replenish itself. Trees will grow back. Gas levels will drop back to normal parameters. You know. So, think about that next time the tree huggers tell you anything. Oh, man is influencing the planet. He's changing all this. Here's what man ends up with. Man's gone. This is what will happen. All of this will come back. Yeah, human activity, the minute human activity stops, natural activity begins on small levels leading up to large levels.